No, but like I'll give you an example. Like when I coach like strength movement stuff.
Yes.
And I've done like a lot of I coach a lot of seminars and shit, and I will coach in some distinctly different ways. I will coach in a very technical way, which is, guys, we're looking at a Romanian deadlift. Here's what it looks like.
ABC.
Here are the 3 main points of performance. Have a go. Let me give you feedback, right? That's a very typical way to coach. But then I'll coach things that are, guys, I'm not going to say anything. Follow me, do what I'm doing. And then I just start performing something. That's usually when you see me doing shit down the room, like crawl patterns or locomotion. Sure. And all of a sudden everyone's like, fuck, got to keep up, got to try and copy. I don't say anything, keep going. And it's like this thing where people are making mistakes, but they're finding their way through it. They're frustrated because they're trying to gain all the information from watching. And so that's a very different style of teaching, right, to the first. And then there's things where you'll be like, all right, guys, here's the technique. I want you to work in partners and I want you to coach each other. Uh-huh. So you could take, there's more, but you could take those 3 examples and go 3 different styles of teaching, right?
Yes.
All quite valuable. Now in Jiu Jitsu, it's usually coach. Coach says, do this, don't do this. And then, all right, guys, you're working on it for 3 minutes. And you see this a lot. The students will break off. A couple of new people will start working on it. The person will not even have finished their first repetition. And the coach, you did it wrong. You got to put your foot here. I told you to put, okay, yep. And you see, and they pick up the foot and they put it there. Okay, now grab this. Yeah, good. And they correct it. And then coach walks away. And it's like this simplified thing where the coach is thinking, all I have to do is make them do it perfectly once and then it will be perfect. And it's kind of neglecting to realize that there is this learning is a process and making mistakes is part of the process.
Yes.
And of course there are times when you cannot accept mistakes. There's a time for that. But I think there has to be a time too where mistakes are allowed to be made.
Yeah.
Right. So then as the coach, you have to think, well, if I can acknowledge that the student is going to make mistakes, what mistakes am I willing to accept?
Sure.
Right? So you might go into the idea of, I'm coaching this technique. I think some of the newer students might struggle with this. I want them to learn this concept. But the particular technique, if they fuck it up a little bit, I'm okay with that. I just want them to understand the concept of whatever it is, controlling the knee line to attack the heel. Yeah. Right? So then you're triaging. You're going, all right, most important thing here, top priority, getting the concept, the technique stuff, that's secondary. If they can learn that, awesome. For my higher belt students, I expect them to nail everything. For the lower guys, I'm cool with this.
Sure.
And so I think that sort of nuance of coaching experience, you do see it in jiu-jitsu, but it's not the norm.
It's not standard.
No. And in that way, you could say because I totally agree with your point, you could say that there is a place for give those 2 white belts the thing you want them to work on and then leave them alone for 5 minutes and let them make a bunch of mistakes, let them troubleshoot and tell them, hey guys, I want you just to work, give them that permission. I want you guys to I've given you the 3 things. I want you just to with it. Just do it. Okay, I'm not going to correct you for the first 20 reps. Just go.
Or even more maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Arguably, right? We're always in that time pressure with jiu-jitsu, but yeah, really, you should be able to give them, I don't know. But so give them that space, let them fumble their way through and self-assess and give feedback and coach each other and then step in and go, okay, main mistake I see you guys making is this. Let's fix that one thing and then fuck off again.
Yeah.
And give them another 5 minutes. Now, that's a luxury that you often don't have in jiu-jitsu, but I think as a concept, we kind of need to create this space where people can become their own, they can become like a learning machine.
Yeah.
Versus just becoming a regurgitator of whatever you told them.
The old school rote learning method.
And I do think that that's kind of, without being super familiar with, I think that's the ecological, what they're trying to get at is giving people, it is a framework to allow people to learn better autonomously.
Partly. I mean, look, we can do a separate episode breaking down the ecological approach. I don't think that fully acknowledges what that is about. Even though, yes, I think that it speaks to that. For me, I think what I've been interested in is that people learn differently. So there is some people who can just watch videos and then just come and train and do that, which for some people that's just ridiculous. And then like, I think what you were saying about allowing people to make mistakes, that's actually super important. Whereas most coaches are like, no, don't make mistakes. Like you were saying, like they physically correct you. When actually we all know for the best part, some of our best lessons, even though they weren't our best experiences at the time, was fucking up completely, and the lesson drawn from that.